Welcome to Up on the Bars discussion with your host, Roy Bain.
Well, we are live on Thursday night. I already got 15 viewers popped in here. Fred Lynn messaged me right before we went live. How could I catch it? We're here. We made it all in here, and I think we can all hear each other. So that's a miracle in itself. We got 4 in here, got the full house. Yeah, there's Fred Lynn. I got to give him a big shout out right now for he asked me to give it Fred's swap meet this weekend at Merced Speedway. Looks like weather's going to hold on. If you're looking to get some parts, anything for all that stuff, go check out the swap meet at Merced Speedway this weekend, and that's for Fred Lynn. He drove Lyle's winning attitude Prostock there at Stockton one time. Had a good time meeting him. Cool guy. So go check that out if you can make it. Well, here we have got, I would like to say the brain trust, but I don't think that's the exact way to describe it here. So up on the top, you see Jay Bryant. He's the owner of Jay's Mobile Welding and Fabrication there in Sacramento. My partner was Speed Union TV. And one of the ones that has helped instrumentally get the money flowing into the Tristate Prostocks. So if you don't know Jay, there he is. You can wave to everybody, Jay.
Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah, underneath him on my screen, I don't know what you're seeing on your screen, is Mike Learn. Mike Learn drives the 11H out of Petaluma, California. He stepped in after the first season when Gordy Russell stepped away and said, hey, I want to keep this Tri-State Pro Stock series going. What do we got to do? And it's like, dude, I'm herding chickens right now. I don't know what I'm doing. So he stepped in and tried to help us get a direction going. And then underneath me on the screen is Lyle Hopper, owner of Winning Attitude Motorsports and another board member of the Tri-State Pro Stocks. And he has been instrumental in everything that we've figured out or couldn't do up to this point. He's kind of pointed us into some new directions to get out of our own way, I guess is the best way to say that. So us 4 kind of have come together to bring some really good things coming into 2024 or 2023. I'm getting ahead of myself here. With Speed Union TV, we started it. We didn't know. And Jay, I'll tell you, we figured we'd have like maybe 10, maybe 12 races when we started. I think we ended up with 58 things that we streamed this past year. And it was like, well, glad it's over for the moment, but now it's time to start over. So
right, exactly. It took off like wildfire that we didn't anticipate. And, you know, you've done a great job on getting the editing figured out and doing all that stuff with that. So that's good. You know, it's just going to get better. You know, we've got some things planned for this year that we think are going to be instrumental for people. I think it's going to be amazing for the drivers and mainly for the sponsors, the things that we kind of want to line up. So you guys got to stay tuned for that. It's going to be great, you know?
Yeah. And I'm going to give a big thank you because there's a list of people that kicked in on Speed Union this year. We got Samantha Church from SC Images. She's been instrumental in running cameras. My wife, Amy, she's been instrumental. Dwayne Southby, many of y'all have met him. He's the deaf guy that runs around with me with my race car. He's been there. Lyle's been there running cameras, doing a part of this. Gary Super out of Wairika. Jake Keller out of Stockton, Aaron, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, because I will butcher it. He's told me, and I still won't remember. Moxie Mike down there, out of there, Clyde Rude, the people at Willamette Speedway, the people at Southern Oregon Speedway, Larry Adams from Antioch. Wiley Wade showed me how to fly drones this year to get started. There's a long list of people that have been a part of this. So to
Stephen Blakesley, don't forget Blakesley.
All especially because Stephen, I tell this all the time. When we started this, Mark Garner says, what's up, guys? 4 really good dudes, and said, good luck with your prostate exam, guys. I don't know who said that. That's on YouTube, so I don't even know who's watching there. When Jay and I started this, we were on the conference calls with Vimeo. Okay, Jay's 50. Everybody in this group is 50 plus years old. Okay. Everybody in the group of Vimeo is about 21 to 22.
Oh, yeah.
They start talking, oh, you got this platform, you got this app, you got this, you got to do all these little things and all that. It was like,
yeah,
Jay's
megabytes, kilobytes, all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Jay's eyes glazed over, and it's like, do you know what they're talking about? I'm like, nope. It's like, Steven, do you know what they're talking about? Yep. So I finally told Nelson, who was our guy that was instrumental in building all the apps and everything. It's like, dude, I got to tell you, you're like talking to Grandpa on The Simpsons, teaching us how to use the remote control over here because we don't know what the hell you're talking about. Thank God Steven knew.
Yeah,
we didn't know what was going to be involved in all this. It's been insane. So it's, oh my God, I felt like an idiot from the beginning of this, and we learned a lot in 6 or 7 months. So
yeah, and with the Speed Union that some people don't know, and there's, obviously the more you can tell people, the better. But we started this mainly, Roy kind of came up with some of the ideas, and we collaborated together. We tried to start it to be able to go race all these racetracks and not ask for a purse from the promoters. That way we come in with our own money, the money coming from Speed Union. I don't take a paycheck. Roy doesn't take a paycheck. It's not about that. It's just racers trying to help racers. And that's what we're doing. So in the beginning, people were kind of like, oh, it's crap. It's, it's not good. It's like, and it wasn't. Roy will tell you, I'll tell you, everybody will tell you. We were learning. And over the last year, everybody's learned a ton. And so, like I say, it's going to get better. The money that we make from Speed Union doesn't go in my pocket at all. Doesn't go in Roy's pocket. We're trying to get it back to the Tri-States. That way everybody can race for bigger purses. It's not I'm not going to retire off of Speed Union. Roy's not going to retire off Speed Union. We just want to help racers. So, and that's why we started it. And that's still our goal today, is to do that.
Well, you can see by retired, I'm in the sleeper of a truck. This is the top bunk. I'm sitting on the bottom bunk. I'm in a truck in Redding, California right now. So there you go. But now, once we started this, the numbers have been amazing, and I don't have the numbers sitting right in front of me. But we have broadcast to 122 countries, not to mention all 50 states since we started this year. So everybody that sees everybody that's been a part of Speed Union one way or the other, there has been people all over the country watched what you're doing. And as we're going in tonight talking about this is key and critical. Lyle, Mike, Jay, and myself, all at the beginning of December, the first weekend of December, we were all in Reno at the Reno's Promoters Workshop. If you don't know what that is, I don't even know how to explain it other than it's
chaotic.
Very chaotic, but it's where all the promoters get together and start working on their schedules for the upcoming year. Jay went for his first year. I think he left after the first night, said, I've had enough of that zoo. I'm going somewhere else. So
no. I had work I had to get back to. I was looking forward to it. It was like,
yeah. So, but at that point, we went in there, we attended some of the seminars, learned of a lot of different things, met a lot of people. Then at the first day, Mike, Lyle, and myself, that's when we started our heavy lifting there. And Mike, I'll let you turn around and talk about what you experienced there and what you saw dealing with all the promoters, and let's kind of build a picture of what all happened there.
Biggest picture of that is a lot of drinking.
Well,
once they get some drinks in them, then the work starts.
Yep. So, I think the second morning, think about noon on the second day, Mike, Lyle, and myself got invited up to the Hoosier Suite. This is
like crashed it.
Well,
we weren't exactly invited. We just kind of crashed in on it because it was a sprint car get together.
Yeah.
Well, but the takeaway from there is where we're going to go into all of this, because we learned a lot about Hoosier Tire this year. I want to take the time and put out what we learned there, so everybody understands this. We all know that the tire shortage that Hoosier faced last year, coming out pre-COVID, this, that, and the other. we got to really hear and see what's going on with the tires at Hoosier this year. And some of this stuff makes sense, and the average racer doesn't know this. That's why we wanted to all get together and talk about this. They said a container of the materials, the rubber and the materials that they use to make the tires, a year ago was $3,000. Now they're paying $30,000 for the same container when they can get it over there. So that's one thing that's hindered. The supply chain has messed up how much rubber and the things they're using to make the tires. So they've had to figure out a way to level the production of the tires. And I know this is kind of boring for everybody that's listening, but it's to let you know what's going on. So they've halted production on all the 20 or 30 different versions of the Hoosier tires that are out there. And we found out that XR and World of Outlaws, or Lucas Oil late model series, which I think it's Lucas Oil, got together and bought molds for late model tires for Hoosier. They put the money together, bought the molds. So they're going to make one late model tire to go all the way across all Lucas Oil, XR, all of the series. What that does is lets them produce more of one tire to where it's equal for everybody across the playing field. Good news on this is you can expect a 12% decrease in price. I want to tell you all that decrease. Make sure that's the key word. The price is going to go down on those tires due to them not having to buy the new molds. Now, if you're a sprint car driver, bad news. You're going to a new sprint car tire and it's going up 12%. So there you go. Yeah. But we're not sprint cars, so we're not going to talk about their tires. But that brings us to this year. We have got a deal in place with Hoosier this year that we're going to actually be going to a point fund from Hoosier. We don't know the specifics on it yet, but that brings us into the discussion on tires. And I'm going to turn this over to Mike and Lyle and let them know, because Hoosiers made it easier on us, but I don't know how to explain it. They put us into a good position to build what we're doing.
Why don't I go with the general, and then Mike can address the actual rules? We didn't get time to get the rules put out onto the website today, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, it's for the guys out there. We were actually working on the rules all the way up to 11:30 this morning to try and get them done, to produce them so you could read them tonight while this was going on. It didn't happen fast enough, so we were unable to get them to Steve Blakesley to get him on the website. But what Roy is talking about is Hoosier has gone to a national late model tire for the 11-inch. So that puts us in a box. We're going to have to end up doing that. So when the current supply of 1600, 1300s, and all these other things run out, that is going to be the tires. So for the late models across the country, because of XR and Lucas, the tire price is actually going down. Everything else Hoosier makes is going up. Everything. So G60s, any of the other tires that some of the street stocks may be running, everything, if they're producing it, is going up. And they've reduced their product lines down another 86 tires. I was talking to Tim Gerhardt. He's the son of the owner of Hoosier West this morning, trying to finalize our contract on the points fund, and it will be a per car per race fund at the end of the seasons where we'll get the check. So the more cars, the better, the bigger the fund will be. And Roy can talk a little bit later on about, or whoever, about the back end of the purse and some of the other good things that have come our way on that one. So that will be part of the end of year championship, will be the Hoosier Point Fund. But right now, every single tire, I think if Manny Abel is out there, he talked to them this morning and found out every tire they have is at the shootout in New Mexico, including the upper management of Hoosier West. They've taken them all there to try and burn them up and get them out. So the late model tire was originally scheduled for, you will see this tire no later than January 22nd. All right, that's gone. They're not going to have that tire available until mid-February to late February. But this tire will be the only tire of the general deal that's going down in price. So instead of what we've been paying, $240, $245, $260, it will be closer to $220, and that will be our 11-inch tire. Mike has come up with some pretty good information on the program for tires to weight that we adopted this morning, so he can talk to you about that. But what's happening is Hoosier is narrowing the field so they can actually supply the whole country. So by going to this tire, as they start happening, you'll only be able to buy used ones that are in good shape fairly soon. Right now, if you've been on the internet and you've been watching parts, you've been seeing Davenport's Car Owner and other guys out of the Midwest have been selling hundreds of tires, mostly used, but mainly new. It's because as of the first, they were no longer allowed to run them. They stopped them. What we're doing is with our contract today that we've been talking about, we have a burn-off period. We can use up all the Hoosier tires we have for the rest of the year. The only key to that is you got to run Hoosier tires. So the Goodyear and the Curry are no longer allowed. There are some provisos we have for specific people that can talk to us at the track to maybe get rid or use up those tires in a different way. So but you don't have to go out and spend money on 4 or 6 brand new tires. You can do this 2 at a time and use your old ones from last year, and those will be good all year. So you've got WRS2s, 1600s, 1300s. We get to run them all year. Hoosier's not making us kick them out like they did Lucas and World of Outlaw late models. As far as the actual weight rules to compound and stuff, Mike can speak more to that. He fixed my mistakes on that over the evening until 11 o'clock last night and 11 o'clock this morning, and we got it sorted out.
Hey, Lyle, on that, before we jump to that, so you talked about the 11-inch tire. Guys are still going to be able to run 8-inch tires, though, too, right? So the guys know that
the 8-inch tires that are going to be available. And we're going to ask all of you crack smoking guys that are on dirt bosses to burn them up and get rid of them. Because that crack pipe is gone. That tire has not been produced for over a year. They will be legal. Any tire you ran last year that said Hoosier on it is legal for this year through the whole year. Burn them up.
Just wanted to make that clear for everybody. So
absolutely. We want to make sure people don't have to spend a ton of money. Hoosier's pushing us this direction. In the end, it will be a good deal. But at the same token, if you have the money and want to go out and buy 8 new tires, great. But if you don't, you can do this 2 at a time and get there very quickly. Or there's a lot of good used tires. And some of the teams back east are selling some of their brand new WRS2s and 1450s for like $80. And you got to pay $60 or $80 shipping to get them here. But that's still cheaper. So there are options. Nobody has to break the bank to get this going. And right now, the asphalt takeoff, the G60, and every tire in the 11-inch that we ran last year, including the 10.5-inch RC4, are legal. The RC4 is going to be a problem this year. They've stopped production on them for now. They won't resume until June. And I know some of the guys have changed over with me because I've been running those on the left side of my car for 2 years, 2.5, whenever we ran Bowden.
All right, Lyle, let's stop right here because we have a vast number of questions and we're going to answer them one at a time. So, Travis White, what about American?
This is where the prostate exam comes from.
Yeah, no more American racers. If you have them, talk with Lyle or Mike off air. It's what we can say right now. Jay Learn just said, I have 32 dirt bosses, 6 new. Your dirt bosses are there to use and burn up. You have this year to use them and burn them up. So you'll see the rules come out and what it says. Then I have, I believe it's Matt Kyle. Do we know what the new 8-inch tire rule is? Yes, we do. It'll be coming out. If you want to know, reach out to Lyle or Mike. They can answer that question. Dwayne Croft, hello. How you doing? Harvey Balestrini. What about RC4s? Yes, RC4s are still legal. 100%. So there we go. There's the vast amount of questions that came through right off the bat. So there we go. Now, Mike, we're going to let you start talking about all the specifics on these tire rules. So there you go. So.
All right. So the tire rule really hasn't changed from last year to this year in reality. We still got the 4 tire options. What we did was we took out the Goodyear's, the American racer language in there and made everything a Hoosier tire in there. That's really the only thing that has changed in the rules. So anything you ran, like Lyle said, anything you ran last year, you can run this year as a burn them off. But what we're trying to do, like he said, is if you need to replace a tire, start working your way to these new tires. Start getting new tires. Burn off what you have.
And I want to clarify right here on this. This is not the Tristate Prostocks came out here and told you this. This is the most important thing that you need to understand. Hoosier's not making those tires to replace what you have. There's no WR2 or WRS2s, whatever they are. There's no 1300s. There's no more 1600s. There's the National Late Model Tire. It's the NLMT. 4 versions of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 1 and 2 is your left side tires. Your 3 and your 4 is your right side tires. They have them in variety of circumferences, but the 3 and 4s are the harder compounds. The 1s and 2s are the softer compounds. That's the only tire Hoosier is going to have available that is a late model style tire. And it's not us telling you you can't run those tires, the WRSs or whatever. They're just not going to be there. After this year, they're not going to be there. They're not making them anymore as of right now. That stopped in December, I believe, is when it stopped. There's no more being made, so it's not available. So I want to make sure everybody understands that.
Yeah, I was going to go into that next. But yes, perfect what Roy said there. It's Hoosier that's making this change. In the end, it's going to be a good thing for our series, and it's going to be a good thing for racing overall, because there won't be all these different compounds. None of us seen this coming. I just, with 2 months left in the season, bought 12 new tires, 1300s and 1600s, and I've only run 4 of them as of now. And guess what? I got to burn them all up, because at this point, they're not making them no more. So we were all blindsided by this.
I'm going to add to this. This is how blindsided it was. We were in a group of sprint car racers, Brad Sweet, Kobe Copeland, Scott Russell, everybody that has anything to do with the sprint car rules. And I brought up, well, what about the new late model tire that we heard all about? Every one of them's head turned around. What do you mean new late model tires? And it came out and they're like, well, shit, now we're going to get it beat up with sprint car tires. And now you're telling me now I got to go back and tell them there's no more of these late model tires. Scott Russell lost all expression and all color in his face when he knew that, because he knew he was in trouble. That's how blindsided it was. Nobody saw this coming. And you're getting it on ground floor, because this news hasn't even came out nationally yet. So everybody that's listening tonight, stay tuned, because you're going to see Hoosier blow up the internet in the next 3 weeks about this. This is how new this information is.
Yeah, we were a little ahead of the game. Roy asked a couple of questions about the late model tires, and that's what started it up. And we had some prior information from the Midwest that this is where it was going. And so when we started asking the questions of the Hoosier reps from Indiana, all hell broke loose, and poor Mike lost his mind. I got to rewrite my tire rules. Oh my God. And the sprint car guys started getting into it. And when Brad Sweet was actually pretty helpful in that. He talked about some of the late model guys that he dealt with having to carry nearly 100 tires to the track because of how many tires, compounds, tire designs, and everything they had. And again, I relayed something about a family member that went to the last Charlotte race between 2 cars. He brought 117 tires that are now obsolete. So what Mike came up with and what we're trying to do here is not obsolete what we have and get you through the year, and then switch over to the more economical tire than the Dirt Boss and basically everything else except for a G60. So back to Mike.
Did Jay even tell you he gave away, 60 brand new Dirt Bosses?
Not brand new. Not brand new. It was 50. You guys have seen my shop. It was. I did not realize how many I had, and my wife, when she saw how many we had, she just looked at me and she goes, I just love you, and walked away. I was like, oh, thank God. I thought I was going to hear it. I was like, oh. So anyway, Mike, get back to it. Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and go through the options real quick. So we got, like I said, nothing's really changed other than some of the language in here. So tire option 1 is going to be the Hoosier G60 and the Hoosier 10.5-inch asphalt takeoffs. Minimum weight with those tires is 2,700 pounds with driver. Tire option 2, Hoosier late model tires. Maximum tread width of 11 inches, durometer 55 on the right side, no durometer on requirements on the left side. 2,900 pounds with driver. Hoosier RC4s, 2,900 pounds minimum with driver. That's option 3. Option 4, Hoosier, any Hoosier tire, 8 inches that's under 55 durometer, 3,100 pounds minimum with driver. And that could be on all 4 corners. So if those tires read 42, 45, whatever they are, if they're new, old, it's 3,100 pounds for option number 4. So, and then that's pretty much it on the
and on
tire
tires.
rules.
And on tires, just to speak on this for a second, because you brought up the durometer, you know, the Tristate Prostocks check that. I mean, there's been guys DQ'd over the years for not having the right durometer. So try to check that before you guys get to the track too. You know, you don't want to have any issues or anything like that, you know.
Let me speak to that one real quick, because we had an incident at Medford last year where one of the competitors thought with their durometer that the tires they had were legal at a certain weight. Their durometer was off over 20 points. So if you have any questions about your tires, come see me. The official Tri-State durometer will be in my trailer, and we'll confirm what weight you need to be at. One of the things that's going to happen this year is we are having weight stickers made up for whatever weight category you declare to be put on the driver's post area of your car, so that when we're at tracks where we don't have scales, and we will probably have scales for the series for ourselves most of the year, but certain tracks have their already drive over, we're going to put that weight on there. But to confirm your weight, make sure if you don't know exactly what your tire durometer is, come see me and we will check them with the official durometer. Because again, we had somebody at Medford, they thought their tire was a 60, it was a 40-ish. So make sure you double check. Ours is the only official one, and it'll be with me the whole time, unless I get hit by a bus.
All right. So the next thing, if there's anybody out there, and I know Jay has already spoke with somebody, I don't know where that conversation was left off. We are looking for a competition director for this coming year. If you're interested in being a competition director.
Wait a minute. Let me interrupt you. With no ties to a Tristate Prostock car.
Yes, you cannot be a crew member, a car owner, a car driver of a Tristate. We're looking somebody that's completely independent. I'm going to tell you right now, you will not be anybody's friend when you go to the racetrack. I'm sorry to say that. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's one of the worst jobs in racing, but we all need somebody to do that. Troy Bernhardt, salary, talk to us off air. I promise you're not going to get rich at it, but you will be compensated. It will work on it, making sure you have a room and gas to travel on. I'm going to let you know, us 4 that are in this picture, Jay, not so much, but Mike, Lyle, and myself, whoever's in that position, we take most of the heat for you. If somebody doesn't like what you have to say, they come talk to us. We try to make sure that you're not the one that gets yelled and screamed at. I'd rather be yelled and screamed at than somebody else. I'm used to it. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't take it personal. It's racing. No, you're going to have somebody mad at you no matter what you do when you go to the racetrack. So I accept that position very well. So, but yes, we are interested in finding a competition director. We're going to be traveling everywhere. We're going to be at, actually, I have the schedule up here. I can pull this up. Check this out. Everybody ready? Check this. Look at me. Oh, technical. I'm learning right here. There we go. There's the schedule. March 18th, Stockton Dirt Track. April 8th, we're going to be at Hanford, California at Keller Auto Speedway. Then we're back up to Placerville Speedway, Antioch, 2 days at Southern Oregon Speedway. Then we're back down to Antioch. For everybody that wanted it last year and it officially came out on their schedule today, we're at Chico Silver Dollar. Yeah. So there we go.
Hey, and that one has a fireworks show. If you guys have, you guys haven't had a check to see it yet, it's fan appreciation or driver appreciation night. So I just saw it before we came live. It looked like there was a fireworks show that night as well.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fan appreciation night.
Yeah. So just
And
so
then
you
we're
guys
back.
know.
Then we're back June 24th at Stockton Dirt Track. Now, we worked very hard not to schedule back-to-back races. You're going to all look at this and go, June 10th, 16th, 20. We had a different date for Chico. They came back with everything they're doing, and they had to change it. We had to either take this date or not run it. We had a huge amount of overwhelming response of people that wanted to race Chico, so we put it on there. So don't shoot the messenger. We had either no Chico or that. That's where we were at. Stockton Dirt Track, June 24th, July 14th and 15th. We're at Petaluma Speedway, and that we are on board with the big dwarf car jamboree that they have over there. So it's Prostocks and dwarf cars. That's the card for the 2 days at Petaluma. Then we're back August 26th at Stockton Dirt Track. Then September is the Bob McCoy Memorial, and that is at Petaluma Speedway. And then we finish off the season October 13th and 14th with the crowning achievement for myself since we started this. The Bud Nationals. 2 days at the Bud Nationals. So there we go. We're back down there. So that's our schedule, and we work very hard to make sure you have one far southern track, one far southern northern track. Everything else is all kind of central for everybody. So we tried to make it easy, and
yeah, let me jump in here real quick on this one. So like Roy's saying, we have a northern 2-dayer at Medford, and then we also have Chico. We have a southern 2-dayer at Bakersfield. We also have Hanford. We were unable due to conflicts to get into Ocean Speedway. We will work at getting Ocean back next year. I've gotten a lot of calls about that. People that have preliminarily saw the schedule. We just couldn't make it work out this year.
Yeah, Steve Elliott said he wished the McCoy race could be the 2-day show at Petaluma. Steve?
Got to talk to Rick about that.
There we go.
Maybe we could change it, Steve.
Mike, get on that, Mike.
Yeah.
We can probably do that, Steve. Let's talk about it, Steve.
Yeah, isn't
You got
the
my
first
number.
Antioch race the Larry DeMitz?
Yes.
Well?
Yeah.
I don't know which day it's the Larry DeMintz. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My
so
brain.
we got that this year as well. So we're going to be at the DeMitz, and if Mike can make the McCoy move over, that's pretty cool.
And the 2-day race up in Southern Oregon Speedway will be the Rocky Nash Memorial again as well. So there you go.
Yeah.
Rocky Nash Memorial. I just wanted to get the dates and the tracks as we get the race names. We'll get them up and updated. We just wanted to make sure everybody knew what tracks you're going to be racing. So that's what the schedule is. So yes, the first Antioch date is the DeMintz race. So there you go.
All right. Well, since you started it on this, Roy, why don't you go ahead and head towards some of the stuff that's going on with the purse before we head over to the points stuff, because I have some more information from today as well.
All right. So
this will be directly at Jay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here we go. Glad I'm sitting down, brother.
So I don't know how many races he's in for. If he's looking tonight, we're going to start this off with Rick Workman at Workman's Communication. This came on board March 18th. We get 20 cars. It will be 300 to start, courtesy of Rick Workman at Workman's Communication. He is guaranteed 20 cars, 300 to start. If it doesn't happen at Stockton, the next one, I don't know how many races he's going to be in there for 300 to start. I will get with that and get the answer. But yes, Rick wants to see 20 cars. That's Rick Workman at Workman's Communication. You get 20 cars, the first one that's got it, you're going to get 300 to start, courtesy of Workman's Communication and Rick Workman. He will also be sponsoring some other races. Our minimum points races, and I just got all races. I'm going to wait and see if that's from Rick. Workman's page is watching all races, 20 or more, 300 to start, right from Rick Workman at Workman's Communication. So everybody throw a big thumbs up to Rick Workman at Workman's Communication. So thank you, Rick at Workman's Communication. Rick has done a ton for Tristate, along with Jay, along with Robert Wayne Baker, VIP Medical Concierge, Lyle Hopper, Travis Peterson Racing. I've already spoke with them. They're in for the Placerville race. They're sponsoring that one. He's got some people that's doing that. So good things coming. So you're going to see at least 1,000 to start. Several of the races will be 1,250 to start. If there's 20 cars, it's 300 to start. If not, it will be 100 to 150 to start. So there's where we're at. So you got a good solid purse for all of these races, and there's no reason we shouldn't have 30 cars now. So now we're going to turn it over. All right, so we got done with the promoters workshop. Myself, Lyle, and Stephen Blakesley got on an airplane the next week, and we flew to Indianapolis. And a fat man almost died there. I'm just going to let everybody know that right now. A fat man almost died there.
Well, you quit smoking, you won't have that problem.
No, I'm just fat. I walked over 17,000 steps the first day. Lyle stepped out. He'll be back, I guess. Then the second day, it was over 16,000. The third day was nearly 17,000. And even the day I flew home was 12,000. I haven't walked that many steps since I was in the Navy, and that's been a long time. So we're just going to leave it at that.
Right.
So yes, Mark Ternofsky, yes, 17,000 steps, and I have proof on my phone to show you if you want to see it. So now that led into a lot of very solid meetings and things like that. We met with a lot of people in it. If Lyle can come back in on his thing here, I'm going to send him another invite while we're talking. But we met with PEM. We met with Speedway Motors. We met with VIP Race Fuels. We met with FK Rod Ends. We met with Driven Oil. Let's see who. Too many to list. We have so many, and we're working on follow-ups. Butler Built Seats. We will have something from Butler Built Seats coming our way.
I can tell you right now, I'll just stop you right there. So I raced Placerville Speedway. I got flipped over, flipped onto the side, landed on the driver's side door. I took a shot from a Camaro. Anybody that knows, the older Camaros have the nose, their bumpers come out to a nose point. Yeah, I took a shot in my rear, and I mean my butt, not the rear of the car, when I was on my side. I had a piece of 6-inch channel that was 12 inches long. I can drive my forklift over that and not bend it. It bent the channel. It bent my rear brace that held the back of my seat. It collapsed my seat 3.5 inches. Collapsed my seat. I still have it. I told Butler Built I'd send it to them so they could check it out. Where they built those crumple zones in the seat, it collapsed my seat. And I got out going, dang, my butt hurts a little bit. And that was it. Didn't realize how bad it was until I got the car back to my shop to tear it apart. I do not race without a Butler Built seat. And I'm not promoting them because you talked to them at the meeting. You know, anybody that's been to my shop has seen that seat. It is amazing that I was walking and the seat did everything it was supposed to do to protect me. So my wife doesn't drive without one. I don't drive without one. My wife's car is a hobby stock with a passenger seat. It has one in the passenger seat. I will not race a car without one of those just because of what I personally went through.
Yeah. Stephen Blakesley pointed it out. Yes. And we have a yes to Scribner Plastics. They're local here in California. They're going to be providing us some of those really nice triangle shaped fuel cans to give away. Von Stone, it's Pit Skylights. We have a set of lights to give away at the end of the year.
Awesome.
The points fund. So thank you to Pit Skylights. Says Lyle may have lost power. They've been losing power all day and all night. That's from Richard Vanderplu. So I wouldn't doubt it. PEM, our champion this year, will have a PEM quick change at the end of the season. So if you're the champion, you'll walk away with a brand new quick change rear end for your car. We got way out of our box this year with going back to PRI. Good things are coming. We're doing a ton of follow-up. Stephen Blakesley has made phone call after phone call. I've been making phone calls. We have some other stuff working with Hoosier. We're not at liberty to talk about that at this moment, but this is from Hoosier Corporate in Indiana. Jay is doing some things. I don't know how he feels about talking about what you're doing. If you want to, you can hop in at this point, whatever you want to talk about. Or
all right, what do you want to talk about?
I know we're doing stuff via Speed Union.
Okay. So with Speed Union, like what we're trying to do with some of that stuff, I am trying to pit. It'll be real easy to find me because I just went stupid this year and bought a toter and a trailer and all this good stuff. So we are going to try to pit right by the entry to the racetrack. Okay, this is our goal. We want to pit right by the entrance, mainly because when you check in at a race, we want you to come over. I'm having a tent made right now, a 10 by 10 with Speed Union all over it. What we're going to do is we're going to have you come over and we're going to interview you for a minute. And we're not going to interview you and so don't get all weirded out like, oh my God, I got to be on point. We're going to ask you who you are, what you drive, and who your sponsors are. So in doing that, you're going to get a big shout out to your sponsors. Okay. So they're going to see that, because one of the things that I personally cannot stand, and I'm not digging on anyone in any way, is when I'm streaming a race and I'm looking at the tractor go round and round and round while they have intermissions. So Roy and I have talked about that, how we're going to handle that. We are going to handle that by running these driver interviews. So rather than have dead air and people watching that, you'll be able to do that. So we're also working on something that I don't want to really divulge at this moment. If it comes to fruition, it's going to be a great thing for you and your sponsors. So, and some of you that know me, I put a Facebook post out recently about sponsorships and asking for sponsorships. You got to work for a sponsorship. You don't just say, hey, hit me up, I'll put your name on my car. I get that all the time. What does that do for me? It don't do jack for me. Go to your sponsors' places of business and take a picture, or say, hey, I'm eating at Steve's Pizza tonight, man. They got the best pizza around, and post that. All of you young people, you guys all have social media. We're not that great at it. I'm not, I should say. I'm not gonna speak for everybody else, but shout out to your sponsors constantly. I mean, you want money from them. If they're not in business, you're not going to get any money. Plain and simple. So go there. And if you don't go there, mention them. Say, hey, I'm thinking about ordering a pizza. This is who I get it from, and they're great. Do that kind of thing. Your sponsors don't just hand you money and say, great, here you go. I've sponsored people that when I tell them I can't afford to help them anymore, they forgot my name. I mean, that's why I help tracks now and not individuals. That's my personal experience.
So I'm going to tell everybody out here, Jay Bryant's got a whole stack of business cards somewhere for Jay's Mobile Welding and Fabrication. If not, he's got a ton of stickers. Go ask him for 50 of those stickers or 50 of those.
Oh, whatever. Thanks.
Just ask him for them. Write your name on the back of it. Write your name and your car number on the back of it. If that business is sponsoring you, when you say, hey, go check out Jay's Welding if you need something done, they bring that sticker. Hey, this guy told me about you. Hey, I'm here to get some welding done on my pickup. Jay now knows that you're promoting his business. You're helping get his word out. The same thing with that pizza place. Get a $5 off coupon. Take it in there. All these places will do a $5 off dinner coupon for any of your people. That tells that business owner what you're doing for them. I'm slacking off right here. I need to run my commercials. I got a stack of commercials that we hadn't got to tonight because we're busy yammering. But
speaking of advertising,
yeah, speaking of advertising, I got them all on here. I'm sitting here talking trash as I'm not running the commercial. Sorry, Rick. Sorry, Doc. Sorry, Lyle. Sorry, Jay.
No, it's all good.
These are all things. But everybody that watches this video this week, hit the share button down on the bottom. You're watching this video.
That's huge.
Hit the share button. It doesn't cost you anything other than this on your phone or whatever.
You hit the like button right next to it. It's really easy to hit share.
I don't even necessarily have to have the like. You can just hit share. That way everybody can see this. But everybody that watches and tunes in tonight, you all have friends that don't know anything about racing. We're all fans of racing. Bring that friend of yours to the racetrack this weekend. If you're in the pits, invite him to come hang out with you in the pits and see what we do. That person, if they have a good time, they're going to bring 3 more the next time. That's how we build our sport. That right there. Even if you had to buy that person a pit pass, you're out $40. we got a new fan, you're bringing new people in. Everybody always wants to know how we build our sport. I just gave you the framework to how we build our sport right there.
Right, and I agree with that, and I agree going to the track. Like I was actually talking to Scott Russell today at Placerville Speedway promoter, and he's like, it's great that you can stream the races, and all that, but you don't get the experience. And anybody that's been, and this is what he used as an example, is anybody that's been to top fuel drag racing. You can't get that experience by streaming it. You can't get that rumble in your chest, that nitro that's burning and all that stuff. You don't experience that. I mean, there's days I fire up my race car when I'm not in the mood to work, and there's no lie. I'll fire up my race car just to get that smell, and it's like, oh, I'm ready to go. And then I get back to work. I mean, there's nothing like being at the track. There's nothing like it. I mean, if you can't be there, then obviously stream it. But if you can go. It is a blast.
Yes. Why are you so quiet down there, Mike? Somebody just chimed in. Because Mike can't get a word edgewise with the big mouth.
It's all above my pay scale.
I'm a professional speaker, bullshitter. Yeah.
Well, I'm not professional. So, Mike, what do you have to add to the discussion going forward this year?
I'm just reading all the comments and trying to keep up on everything here. And I'm in the process of trying to get Stephen Blakesley the rules. So maybe he can get those posted up for everybody first thing tomorrow morning.
Michael Burt says, there you go, Roy. I agree and have done that. Yeah, I bring people that are not huge fans of racing. So Dwayne won't get mad when I talk about this. So I have to. Okay. Dwayne is deaf. You heard me talk about him. He loves racing, loves to be a part of racing. We got him involved into it. It's hard to explain with him, but also we were sitting around. I was watching his Facebook one night, and he said he's going to see Jefferson Airplane. They were playing a concert out at Klamath Falls, and I'm like, this is a deaf man's going to a concert. So I asked him, I was like, dude, can you hear the concerts when you go and things like that? And he's like, yeah, I can hear a little bit of it, but he feels it, just like you were talking about the rumble in your chest and all that stuff. Yeah. And I was like, holy crap. So I invited him to Motley Crue, and I was like, man, I know him for the last 10 years. You can hear all this stuff. I invited you to more concerts, but I didn't want to be the dick that invites a deaf man to a concert. It's like, that's kind of rude, but
right.
Things like that, it brings people together. It's very, very cool. So yes, talk to your friends, bring them to the racetrack one time.
Yeah, for sure. And, before we get off and wind up running out of time, me personally, I want to thank you guys for getting the schedule done. Mike, Lyle, you guys, going to that promoter's workshop was an eye-opener, and I didn't even stay for the whole thing. So, unfortunately, I wanted to really bad, but, we had to get back. So
next time.
Next time. For sure. It was great. My wife and I, we had a great time. We got to go to dinner with these guys and sit down and have dinner, and it was a lot of fun. And, you guys, we go racing, and I never really got involved on that side of it. And so to see what it takes to put a schedule together, to see what it takes to make sure the rules are compliant, and to come up with this and to have a heads up about the tires, which we all hate, right? It's necessary evil. But, that these guys have put all this forward and got ahead of the game. I personally would like to thank you guys for that, because it's huge. You guys did a great job on the rules, great job at the workshops and everything else. So, without you guys, we don't have a schedule. We don't have a tour to run. So, my hat's off to you guys for that, for sure.
All right. So, Lyle, we talked about the rear end with PEM. We talked about Scribner Plastics providing us some fuel cans. Von Stone providing the pit skylights. Here you go, bud. Talk to you for... There you go.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Minor difficulties here. We're having some weather in paradise. So yes, they've already told you guys that the series champion will be receiving a complete quick change rear end from PEM. On top of that, talking to Pyrotech today, we're going to be receiving for the points fund either a complete new helmet or a complete custom fire suit. They're finalizing that with Dad when he gets back from the Midwest shootout. And so we're still working on a couple of other projects to go here. I think where I left off, I heard we announced the 150 to start and the Workman communication backing up that would to make it 300 with 20 car plus was.
And he said all races he will pay the back end of the purse. He said that publicly.
Fantastic. All right, Workman, you just stepped up to the plate big time.
What's the old saying? We see you out there.
So yeah, again, I talked to Gerhardt today. I talked to Tanner from Pyrotech. So they're going to be chipping in for our point fund, and we're working on trying to set up an actual awards banquet at the end of the year this year that will be mid-state California, so that it's about equal distance from the anybody up north and the guys down south, and that's where all this stuff is going to get presented. The actual point fund check, I will not be administering. Hoosier will actually write the check this year. PEM, I'll have the quick change sent out probably mid-year so that we have it for that purpose. But whoever the champion is will be either looking at a helmet or a fire suit to be dispersed in part of that deal. Did we talk about the skylights for the trailers?
I did. We mentioned Pit Skylights, Von Stone, and Stone Motorsports.
Right.
I can tell you this with those skylights real quick. When I ran Coca-Cola last year, and the guys next to me, I had mine up on the trailer, and I turned them off, and they freaked out. They were like, "What the hell happened?" I mean, it was like daytime with those lights. They were amazing. I have them on. I bought 3 sets, and I got them on all my trailers. I mean, they are awesome, awesome lights.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Mark, no problem, buddy. Just get out the checkbook. We'll take everything you got.
All right. So there you go. That's Mark at MTFX Graphics. Speaking of other people, we got to give a shout out to Justin Crockett, Brand Creative. He's providing all the
trophies for the winners.
The trophies for the winners, and also the stickers for everything to go on your start. Does third place points get anything asking for a friend? Brent, we just told you 5 things. Something's coming your way if you finish third, but we know you're going to finish first, so you got the quick change coming. There you go.
And I think, Roy, you and I should talk about Speed Union kicking something in for this too. You know, like you're running the Speed Union. I think Lyle and I talked about that, having the Speed Union stickers on your car. Maybe,
right.
You know, Speed Union can kick something in, you know, per race too.
Part of what we'll be doing between now and then is we'll be having another one of these deals. And the situation will be Speed Union, Hoosier, and Tristate Prostock decals will be mandatory on the car, so that anytime there's film, which should be every single race, and anytime you're in the winner's circle or at tracks that do the top 3 like Hanford, those are visible not only for ourselves, but also for Flo and Ron Crispin, whatever his name is, or Fred, or any of the photographers, so that those units show up. In order to collect your point fund money at the end of the year, these decals will be mandatory to be on the card. Now, granted, you tear the door off one weekend and you'll get them on for 1 race or 2 races. We'll live with that. But as a whole, you're going to have the roof sticker for your weight. You're going to have a Speed Union decal. You're going to have a Hoosier decal. And you're going to have the, whatever the other ones I just talked about.
So Mark Turdowski said maybe I'll put a wrap package in for the end of the year. That's always a good deal. Robert Him said that's a great deal with Rick kicking in 300 to start. Yes, absolutely. That should be all sponsors, Lyle.
Right. Yeah. So we'll probably make something up like that, just like Justin Crockett. Not only is he doing the decals for free that are going to go on the cars as far as the weight and all that stuff, and the winner's plaque, he's also providing the radios for the series to be in communication with, and one radio will be set up to go onto the receiver so that we can scream directly at you when you're blowing it on the track.
Right on, Justin. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Chris Bennett said, I'll need some for my lunchbox, my fridge, and his Honda. So there you go.
So how about this? So not to step on Workman's feet by any means, but if we get over 20 cars, I'll do $100 to each to the first car out of the main. So if it's the 21st car, I'll do $100 for that car for every race.
Okay.
So if we have over 20 cars, the first car out of the A main will get $100.
Yeah. Jay Learn posted up. I've heard a neck restraint is going to be mandatory to run Tri-State. Yes, that is 100%.
Not a donut.
Not a donut. Jay, I feel your pain. I don't have one. Haven't ran one. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm an idiot. So we're just going to say that right now. You need to run it.
Yeah, let me do it. Let me do it this way. That was part of the stuff I needed to highlight on my stuff before my phone freaked out on me. So yes, this year you're going to have a Hans or a Simpson or a Zamp or whatever neck restraint system. And the plain and simple fact is this: we had a driver last year, wasn't wearing one, hit the wall, ended up with a concussion. We are changing our insurance program to have supplemental. Right now, the previous 2 years, we've been working off of the promoters' insurance. This is brought to light that we're going to be doing a secondary rider for ourselves. Part of what we did at PRI was get in contact with another insurance company, and I've been working on getting that set up. But they all say the same thing. In order to be a series, you're going to have neck restraints. It's mandatory. Just like this year, the sprint cars, they're all kicking and screaming. They got to run fire bottles. That's coming at us too. We didn't get mandated that so far. So whatever system you've had in the car the last few years, whether it's an onboard or it's a fire extinguisher strapped in, that rule did not change. But start anticipating next year that we're probably going to mandate onboard fire systems, because the insurances are telling the tracks and they're telling the series, you want insurance, you're going to have to do this. So yeah, nobody wants to have to do that. But after wearing my Hans a few times last year, because I never wore one in 40 years of driving, I hated it. By the third race, I got used to it. But after having an incident with the driver and an incident that got hurt, and he's not the only one. Bill Hall got hurt last year in an incident on the back straightaway at Petaluma and ruined his back. The neck restraint may or may not have helped, but in an insurance situation, it protects the Tristate, so we can all keep racing. So yeah, it's a inconvenience, but look at it this way: if you can't afford $400 or $500 for neck restraint, you should not be racing. Stop a tire. Don't buy that $1,200 carburetor. Buy a $500 used one. You got to have a neck restraint. It's just as simple as that. Otherwise, insurance is going to eventually shut us down. Period.
Harvey asked a good question. Did Speed Union talk to all the tracks about being able to record every race? There are quite a few races that weren't on Tristate because they have their own streaming services. We only have 3 races that compete with Flow this year. We had an agreement in place with Flow. We have not got the final thing. We're working on something for this year, but we should be able to stream those. Petaluma, I think we have something in place with them with the dwarf cars. I will get that all out there. But yes, all the other tracks, we actually stream all their races. So Chico is one that's in question. Placerville, we can stream at least our cars. Stockton, we can stream tonight. Hanford, we will have our cars on there at a minimum. Petaluma and Petaluma, I think it's the only one that we have any questions about that's on the list, because we do the streaming for all the others. So Petaluma and Chico, those are the only 2 that we have any questions on whatsoever. And I think we're good from what everything sounded like at the promoters workshop. Everything else should be good.
Let me jump in on one more thing on the safety deal. It's the last thing I had highlighted in the rules that I finally got to print up.
By candlelight.
Yeah, having technical difficulties up here swimming in our backyards.
All right.
2024, we will be changing the minimum helmet to the Snell 2020. So if you're going to buy a new helmet this year, make sure it's a 2020, not a 2005 or a 2000. So we had a couple guys buy helmets from me last year. They got a full year in with them. They're going to get another full year in with them this year. But next year, you either have to send it back and get it upgraded, or if you're purchasing a new helmet this year or next winter for Christmas or whatever, make sure it's a 2020. But that's what most of the manufacturers have in stock now. Motor State, Speedway, Day, Pit Stop USA. But always, you need to look for that when you go looking for your Hans or neck restraint, and if you're going to buy a new helmet at the same time. Okay.
Yep. All right. So before we end out of here tonight, I'm going to run the commercials since we already hyped on commercials, and then we can come back and closing thoughts. So hang tight.
I'm going to apologize.
Tired of calling multiple companies to complete your low voltage projects? Minimize the hassle by calling Workman Communications, your locally owned one-stop shop for all low voltage needs. We tackle everything from commercial and residential data, telephone cabling to access control installation, CCTV, alarms, and audio-video solutions. With no job too big or too small, we'll ensure your project will be completed to your standards with precision quality results.
Thank you, Jerry Bryant of Jay's Mobile Welding and Fabrication, for all you do to support the Tristate Prostock series and myself. Jay is the title sponsor this year for the Tristate Prostock series. Jay owns a welding and fabrication business in Sacramento, California, can do all kinds of welding. If you need some welding repairs done in your car at the track, he usually has a welder available in his track. He also provides sheet metal erasers, so if you need any of these services, contact Jay at Jay's Mobile Welding and Fabrication. Lyle Hopper at Winning Attitude Motorsports has been a longtime supporter of the Tristate Prostock series and now a supporter of Speed Union TV. Lyle provides parts from all major vendors. Hoosier Tire Dealer can provide driver coaching, driver tips, and setup help. He can provide motor diagnosis. He can be at the track available to help coach with the driver at the track. He's also at the track with the Tristate Prostock series as a track vendor for parts and needs. For all your racing needs, contact Lyle Hopper at Winning Attitude Motorsports. Oh, we got one more, and then we'll get back to it. Welcome, Dr. Robert Wayne Baker of VIP Medical Concierge. VIP Medical Concierge is continuing to support the Tristate Prostock series and the racing community. VIP Medical Concierge provides a variety of track services, including non-emergency mobile medical services, IV nutrition therapy, treatment of general medical and non-emergency conditions. Robert also provides health, wellness, and weight loss programs. Check out VIP Medical Concierge on Facebook, Instagram, or at his mobile clinic at a racetrack near you. We're back. So there you go. So see, I had to make sure we get it out there. So Mark Tredovsky made it out. St. Jude's Crab Feed, February 11th at the fairgrounds for Stockton. Coming up in April, we have the one that the Race for Research, Drive for Diabetes Awareness. That's Brent Kuehl and Lacey Kuehl that's been on the show. Fred Lynn says if you buy a used Hans and it's out of date, Wine Country Motorsports at Sonoma Raceway can redo recertification for about $100. Nice. I didn't know that. Never heard of Wine Country Motorsports. So see, there you go. We learned something new tonight right there, all of us.
Yeah, that's a really good price. If you send it back to Hans, it's $200.
Yep. So
plus shipping. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to go out right here publicly and say, I know that we got started with Speed Union. We lacked getting some information out on Tri-State through the middle of the year. I apologize for that. Jay knows, Lyle knows, Mike knows what all went on. I was very overwhelmed about midway through the year, trying to get back and forth and driving a truck. We got our focus back on there. We got a plan going forward. You'll be seeing a lot more of us on here throughout this year. So apologize for last year. We're going to get it out there. Stephen will be doing write-ups and stuff at the end of every Tri-State race. Stay tuned for more stuff coming. We can't talk about things in the future with that yet, but stay tuned. There's going to be more coming. Warren Learn says, my helmet is 2015, never been on a track. Hey, mine's been on one time. Same thing, Warren. I'm in the same boat.
Race it this year. It's legal. And
yep.
Have to be certified for about $100 next year.
Yep. So, Jay, parting thoughts for you?
I just want to thank everybody for getting the schedule together, getting it all dialed in. Apologize to Mike because, we got big mouths and the poor guy didn't get to say more than 10 words. So I'm sorry for that, sir. But I just want to thank everybody. And, I really look forward to this season. I'm going to do my best to run for that championship, So hope to see everybody out there. I'm looking forward to it.
Mike, next up.
All right. Well, if anybody knows me, they know I don't usually talk much, and that's why I'm never on these videos. But anyway, I want to add one thing about one of the things that Lyle brought up with the safety stuff, and I know Jay gave a little story, but a lot of people on here probably seen the wild ride that I took probably 4 or 5 years ago in Fallon. That was a pretty nasty, wild, violent flip. I think I went over 5 times. If I didn't have a good seat and a Hans device, trust me, I would not have popped out of that car like I did.
Yeah, I
And
saw
if
that.
I
It was
wasn't
nasty.
trapped in the car, I would have been out of the car much faster. But they had to cut the window net just so that I can get out of the car. The first thing that you should purchase, like he said, before you buy tires, a carburetor, a seat, a Hans device, and a good helmet. Number one. You got to be safe out there, guys.
Workman says, thanks everybody. Let's make my dream a reality, having a B main this year. And then he says, make street stocks great again. We're pro stocks, Rick. Pro stocks, not street stocks.
We love you, Rick, but
It's street stocks, but it's pro stocks, sir. So, there you go. But next up, Lyle, parting thoughts for as we get ready to go into 2023.
Well, this is the first round. There are still some more things in the works, and hopefully in about 3 to 6 weeks, we'll be announcing a few more add-ons, and we'll be a lot more specific about things we've got going on. Again, like the guys have said, everybody's had a lot of influence in trying to get this accomplished. Like I said, Mike and I were dealing with the rules all the way up from 11 o'clock last night to 11 o'clock today, trying to get this sorted out to be fair. Because the goal here is to give everybody as many laps as possible for the amount of time and effort and money you put into your cars. We're trying to use common sense so that everybody gets as many laps. If you've ever gone and towed like I have 16 hours and got 3 freaking laps for your $3,500, you understand what we're talking about. And my emphasis on safety comes from all the years of NASCAR. I have unfortunately witnessed 3 different people killed at racetracks. So I'm a little bit of a bugaboo about safety, but we're gonna make that right. And also the insurance is also forcing it. Door number 3 before I go, I have a whole raft of checks sitting here that you guys didn't get because I either don't have your W-9 or they were returned to me because the address was incorrect. So if you're out there and you haven't got your check from last year, please get hold of me. You can contact me through Facebook on Winning Attitude Motorsports or Lyle Hopper, or you can go to instant message, or you can text me if you have my phone number. Or if you can't find me, find Roy. Get me your information. And there's 9 checks here that are not paid out from last year. If I don't get them paid out by January 30th, Roy and I are going on a bender somewhere at a bar somewhere near you.
Well, anybody that knows that knows that's not true. So
Mike and I don't drink. We just drink soda. I mean, we don't get to go. Golly.
Yeah.
You drink just soda? Really?
That's
You gonna
it.
stand by that statement, Jay?
I do. I don't drink. I did not have one drink. I don't drink.
I know. Your wife and I had all the drinks while we were at this promoter's workshop dinner.
Yeah.
She don't drink. She drinks less than I drink.
I know. That was a lot.
Well, Albert Charles Ballinger says, holy shit, it's Jay Bryant.
What's up, Albert?
Oh, there's one other question. Somebody had texted me, I forgot who it was, asking me about Hoosier 5000 tires or whatever. Same as Mike said, all Hoosiers are legal. And if it's an 8-inch, it will be based off your durometer. If it's an 11-inch, it's already got a durometer reading that sets the weight. So if it says Hoosier on it from the factory, and you can race it this year. Next year, it will be readily available tires only.
Yeah. Mark Tardowski said, are you related to Ed Hopper of the San Jose Hoppers?
All of the Hoppers from San Jose are related. My cousin Bill Hopper is up here with us. He's the one that got me in the mood to Paradise 8 days before the town burned down.
Yeah.
It was about 20 of the old San Jose guys up here, and I was thinking, well, we're going to have a lot of fun at Chico. But yes, my dad was Ed's cousin, Ed and Bill Hopper's cousin, and we used to race when I was a little boy. We hung out with Nick Ringo. That was my dad used to work with him, Bohart Plumbing and Ringo Trenching, United Trenching. And then that's where I started racing in 1975. It's the old Speedway on the Wednesday night stock car program.
All right. So Workman says they will all be street stocks, just matured. Crockett says you need his address.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm 25 years old. I just matured. Really?
Yeah. So Davey Munoz says Hopper's name will live on forever. Mark Tanoski says we go way back to 1974. Harvey Balestrini, yes, asphalt takeoffs are Hoosiers, and where can you get them? You can get them from Hoosier West. Contact Lyle; he can get them to you.
Scott Flowers usually has them for the northern guys as well.
Yeah, Left Coast Motorsports has them as well. They get them from a different source. They have to be 35s, 45s, 56s, I think, are the tire brands on there. They're
this year the SRL is going to be running 25s, 35s, and 45s only.
Yep. Antonio Aragon asked earlier, are we going to do qualifying this year? Antonio, we have some tracks that we will do qualifying. We were been asked this past year if the show was short for the night to help build and create a great show to do qualifying. So there may be a possibility to do that. We try to do 2 at a time. Stephen Blakesley said 2023's rules are up at tristateprostock.com/competition. Put the link in there, so it's already up as we speak. Somebody else
asked
what the membership.
Mike and I can sleep tonight.
What the cost of the membership is going to be this year. That will come out this next week. I don't know exactly what it is yet. It
will be no more than $100. So we're still negotiating on that. But that would be.
Michael Birch asked Lyle's drums a 110. Michael Birch, that's a good question. We can't answer at this moment. We're in talks with VP Race Fuel. That will be a big deciding factor on things. We will get back to you on that. So hang tight, sir. So that's another one of the conversations we had this year. I wish I could we will make sure you have race fuel one way or the other. So any more questions out there?
And Steve got going that we just haven't been able to finalize yet.
Yep. The guy that's ahead of VP is going to be up in Oregon in the very near future. Very interested in doing some stuff for us, so that would be very helpful. So yeah, lots of good things, and you're going to see a lot more guests. We're going to be seeing Greg Anderson from NHRA back on here to talk about breaking the all-time win record. Somebody else asked methanol too. I don't know if VP makes methanol. Mike, do they?
They do.
Yes, we will have it.
Yep. Thanks for the shout out, Roy. Thanks, guys, for all you do for the sport. That's from Fred Lind. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Everybody pay attention. The Southern Oregon Speedway schedule will be coming out soon. We are working with some stuff with them as well on the other side of it with Stephen Blakesley. So hopefully we'll have some stuff to announce for those guys too as well. You'll see a lot of that stuff coming out on here as well. Stephen Blakesley has been beat up by a lot of sources this year, so I think he's pretty worn out from the year. Hey, Brett Lawrence, I got an update. Good question. Are your guys' cars ready yet? For all of the smart ass comments from Brent this year, January 15th, Dustin Knight is picking up my car. It's going over there to be finished up. It looks like it should be done and possibly make Stockton on March 18th with Dustin Knight driving. So there you go. Mine will be done soon.
Mine's in pieces.
Mine's in pieces too.
Yep.
Mine's in pieces.
The only good news I have for Winning Attitude Motorsports, to get a little plug in here, is I'm about 2 weeks away from finishing my engine transmission assembly room. So those guys that are waiting on their motors, I will be starting to assemble motors probably early February, and we'll get the first 3 customer motors out. Hopefully I'll get mine done in time to make March, but right now my car's in pieces.
Yeah, my car's in pieces, and I should be able to make the March race. I have to. I don't have a choice, but yeah, my grandkids, I got them into go-kart racing, which was smart and the stupidest thing I think I've ever done too. So we race every single weekend until the middle of February. It's like, holy crap on a cracker. So
you finish it just in time to go race every weekend with this, and then yeah, I saw that thing had cobwebs. Sir, you've seen it since I have. That's all I'm going to say. Glad you guys are in the same boat as me. My car is gutted and had a bent clip. Yeah, you took a bad lick the last time I remember. Michael Birch, mine is not quite in pieces, but I didn't need to. Yeah, well, you picked up an immense win, Michael Birch. Very cool win for this year. There, that was awesome. So
that was great to see. It was awesome to see.
Mike, I don't know why you took yours apart. You were the class of the field the next week in Antioch, so yours shouldn't even be apart.
Well, you always got to stay ahead of them.
What's that saying? Races are won in the garage. You know, they're won in the shop first.
Yeah, see, what Mike didn't say is it's in pieces. He took the body panels off to scrape the mud off the inside. That's all he did.
The next week, the following weekend, the motor was out.
Well, I saw Jerry Stewart put his new power plant in. He was extremely fast at Antioch till he broke in half. I think he broke his motor in half, if I'm not sure, because it didn't sound very good when it popped.
Right.
So, Mike, you got that thing rolling and kicking ass. So there you go. So,
hey, I know something we forgot about. Did you mention the Richard Brace and Brace muffler?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So Richard Brace and his father have generously put up $100 a race for every main event hard charger award.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
That is awesome.
So everybody knows we have worked our ass off to build something up for this year going into it. Jay has kicked me in the ass, kicking and screaming to get out of my own way. We kind of drug Lyle kicking and screaming, Mike kicking and screaming out of it. We've kind of all got up off the couch and went to a whole new different area this year. And there's going to be some great things coming this way. I got to tell you, we had some really, I wish I could even put into perspective what PRI was and the reception we got at PRI. We did not, usually you can go to an event like that, you can at least meet one person that's a dick. Maybe I was the dick because I didn't meet any. So
had one built in.
Yeah, I can say maybe I was that one because we didn't meet anybody that had anything. Everybody was very receptive to what we're doing out here on the East or on the West Coast. It was very, very cool. Jay Lur says mine's missing motor parts at Machine Shop will be ready for March 18th. So, yeah, I think we're going to have a pretty full field on the 18th. So,
that'll be awesome.
Yep. So I can't wait to see. I know Tony's excited about this year. I kind of know what's on the schedule for Stockton Dirt Track this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. We kick it off with the Hobby Stocks too. Their first tour races.
And I just want to put this out there. I know Lyle, you had said, doing a banquet, maybe, kind of in the middle of the state or something. Red Hawk just built a banquet room and they have a indoor go-kart track they just opened up. So,
really? You're going to get a bunch of drunk racers on go-karts. I'm not taking the insurance bite on that one.
Hey, they sign a waiver before they get in the go-kart.
Yeah, right. Have you seen what we used to do to the rent-a-cars back in the old Southwest Tour Winston West days?
A little Days of Thunder action, Yeah.
Oh, we'd line the trunks of the car with garbage bags, put ice and 12 cases of beer in there, and go four-wheeling through the infield at Riverside. You're going to put them in go-karts and give them out?
Just a thought,
Yeah. All I'm going to say is, why would you go down there and get into it for one more time? Just saying. That's just asking for shit to happen. Red Lord says, I don't think Red Hawk's insurance could handle our group.
Right.
Just saying.
Absolutely not. I know some of the crazies that are out there watching right now. I'm not getting anything crack with them.
Michael Burke said, shut up, Lyle. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been an awesome time this off season already, and it just keeps getting busier and busier. Stay tuned. You're going to see a lot of stuff coming out from Speed Union. You've seen our schedule come out. You're going to start seeing a lot of commercials ran. A lot of stuff coming in the very near future. Somebody said we'd be asked to leave and never come back. Well, yeah, that's Chernovsky said that. You're right. I agree. So I think the only thing after the beer consumed would be his slot car track. I think that's one we could maybe all handle.
Right.
Just so you know. So, but anyway, all right. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit the share button and stay tuned. We'll be back up rolling strong after tonight. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye.